If this video has found you, I truly believe you need to hear this. It's actually scary how many people think they are living their own life when they are living inside an identity that was handed to them. And I'm going to say something I know many people will not agree with, but I wholeheartedly believe this. You won't feel truly happy and live the life you want until you decenter your parents. As long as they are still centered, you will be living for their validation. Hi, my name is Naomi and welcome back to my channel. This video is about finally meeting yourself outside of that fear, that guilt, conditioning and the roles that you never agreed to in the first place. If you grew up in a toxic, controlling, abusive, emotionally immature household, I truly believe this video will change your entire life. So keep on watching until the end and let's start with what decentering really means. Oftentimes when this topic is brought up that you should decenter your parents, many people automatically assume decentering means disrespecting. But it's simply not true. Decentering doesn't mean that suddenly you are going to become rude, disrespectful, ungrateful, or act like a brat. It simply just means that these people, no matter who it is, whether your parents, society, men, are no longer the main factor in your decision making. Seeking validation and approval from your parents or your family is tied to our basic needs for love and acceptance. As kids, we fully depend on our parents, and when you are a child growing up, you pretty much don't know any outside world. You don't know how other humans live, how other parents behave, how other children are being treated. All you know is your parents, your close family. You fully depend on them. And as we grow older, we tend to make decisions based on the condition we grew up. We often end up asking ourselves, what will my family think of this? Will my family approve of my decision? Rather than being worried what even we think about that certain situation or thinking about our own needs and wants. Many people tend to pursue a life they don't even want just to keep their parents happy and proud of them. And trust me, I know this story all too well because when I finished high school, I was deciding between whether I want to continue growing my online business that I had back then or whether I want to go to uni to make my family and parents proud of me. I did ended up going to university to make my family proud, to become the first person in my family to get a degree. However, this was not my dream. I didn't even want to go to university in the first place. Don't get me wrong, education is really important. However, I already had something I was doing in my life that was worth pursuing in my own eyes. When I went to university, I was pursuing my family's dream for them. However, I had a very clear vision that I didn't go through with, and it was a complete disaster. While I was in university, my family was so happy and so proud of me. They were bragging to everyone about me, but I was truly miserable. My classes were all over the place, so I basically had very little time to pursue the business I had going already back then. I was constantly stressed. I was always sick because of the stress, and I'm not kidding, I used to be sick like every single month. It was such a difficult time for me, and my business ended up crumbling and ending back then, which resulted in me getting into a much bigger turmoil than I was even before that. But as soon as I started trusting my own intuition and followed what felt right for me, I immediately felt so much better, and it felt like my life did a complete turnaround. You can want a life your parents don't understand or have a career they don't approve of, make your own choices or feel guilt and still choose yourself. But I know that's not easy because ever since childhood we are conditioned to do the exact opposite. If you grew up in a healthy home, you can still disagree with your parents and still feel safe. But if you grew up in a toxic home, which was controlling, abusive, emotionally immature, unpredictable, then you learn that approval means safety. As children, we don't really have the luxury of finding ourselves because we are just developing. We are fully dependent on our family. I recently read this book, Toxic Parents by Susan Forward, which really hit me how she describes this family dynamics. Children often see parents as godlike because your survival depends on them. And when those parents are unpredictable, the child becomes hyper-aware, afraid, and often blames themselves to make sense of it. So if this sounds like you, then you have probably learned to read mood, anticipate reactions, overexplain explain, stay small, and hide certain parts of yourself. When we grow up and become adults, many people leave their homes physically, but they stay emotionally connected. And together with that often stays a strong need for parents' approval. That's one of many reasons why you cannot make decisions for yourself, you feel really undecisive, and you feel anxiety when you are supposed to decide. You always end up second guessing yourself. Your nervous system is stuck in the survival mode in the way it was when you were a child. I recently made a full video how to regulate your nervous system, so click here and watch it next. In many toxic families, there is often this narrative that I brought you onto this earth, I gave you all basic needs, so now you owe me. My parents would constantly remind me when I was younger that they are taking care of me, giving me food, keeping me safe, so I have to repay them when they grow older and take care of them. Culture and religion often reinforces this taboo that you are not supposed to talk back to your parents, and also you are not supposed to question anything that your parents do because they know best. But sadly, this is often not the case. And if you grew up in a dynamic like this, even as an adult, if you set any boundaries, it feels like you are betraying someone. If you disagree and tell your opinion respectfully, it still feels like you are disrespecting that person. Or if you choose yourself and cater to your own needs, it feels like you are being selfish. I struggled with this for so many years. I need you to ask yourself, if your happiness requires you to stay small forever, is that really love? Love that only exists when you are being obedient is not love, but control. And many women tend to carry this conditioning later on in their life in dating and to catering to men, especially after growing up in a toxic household. They often end up repeating patterns like proving your worth, overgiving, trying to rescue or save this person, tolerating disrespect, fully ignoring red flags, and mistaking chaos and pain with love. Early family conditioning can shape adult relationships where people end up repeating certain patterns or getting into dynamics and keep on repeating them even though they are unhealthy or hurting them in a certain way. And even culturally, we are often taught to believe that if a man chooses you, it's this ultimate validation. As little kids, we are always told that there is going to be this charming prince on a white horse coming to rescue us, but this is extremely hurtful conditioning. When you center men in your life, you are subconsciously making your decisions based on, will this make me desirable? Will this make me look more attractive? Will this make me chosen? Don't get me wrong, decentering men doesn't mean that men's emotions are not valid. It simply means women's emotions do not come as secondary to theirs. You need to stop making decisions in your life based on how attracting men will find you or what they will think of it. Stop making yourself uncomfortable to make men comfortable. When you decenter men, you are choosing yourself and your life first. You've been living as a version of yourself that makes everyone else comfortable. But what about you? In the book I mentioned earlier, the author recommends to become self-defined. You need to start listening to your own internal compass to what's wrong or good for you. Make decisions for yourself because you genuinely want to make these decisions rather than basing your decisions on your parents' beliefs, approval, or what someone else is going to think. If your whole identity was built on being the good one, people-pleasing, compliance, then listening to your own needs can suddenly start to feel a little bit weird and you can start to feel guilty. But I strongly believe that there is a strong line between being selfish and selfless, and you just need to find the perfect balance. Here are some questions I want you to ask yourself. What do I like when no one's watching? What would I do if no one could judge me? What parts of me have I been shrinking? This is how you will start to meet yourself. And now let's move to some practical tips you can start applying to decenter your parents. First, stop telling them everything. If you're still pitching your ideas, your decisions, your moves to your parents, you're still centered around their approval. Now, I don't mean that you should not tell anyone anything, but try making a decision for yourself, live with it for some time, and then reveal it once it comes true or once you feel ready to share it. This way, you are building self-trust with yourself that you can do the things you set your mind to without having anyone to try to change your mind or give their opinion, their view, their perspective on this thing. Number 2, notice your guilt voice. Feeling guilty is very common if you grew up in a toxic household. When you start to feel guilty, when you find yourself in a certain situation or making a decision, I want you to ask yourself, would I still feel guilty if I wasn't afraid of their reaction? Number 3, learn the difference between love and obligation. Love is supposed to feel warm, safe, respectful, freedom to be your true, authentic self. Obligation or control feels like guilt, pressure, fear, punishment, control. If someone truly cares about you and loves you, they will be respectful to you and they wouldn't want to hurt you in any way. Number 4, set boundaries you can actually keep. This is where most people struggle with toxic, controlling parents. For example, try setting boundaries like, if you feel uncomfortable when they visit you without any notice, let them know they need to let you know at least one day before arriving. If there is a sensitive topic you do not want to discuss with them, tell them that I will not discuss this with you. Or if they start to lash out or yell at you, tell them that you will discuss this once they calm down. Number 5, respond, don't react. I believe this is one of the most powerful skills you can have if your parents are toxic. Your parents know exactly how to trigger you because they installed these buttons. And your job is to pause and calm yourself before you give them the old version of you. Practice the gray rock method. Shift yourself from being reactive to responsive. If you react emotionally, you are handing these people control over your emotions, and that's exactly what they want. They just want to get a reaction from you. Number 6, decide what contact looks like for you. Some people who grew up in abusive households usually go no contact, low contact, or they set strict boundaries. And I truly believe that deciding what's best for you will make your life so much better. It is not worth suffering disrespect and abuse from anyone, not even your own family. Number 7, break the cycle. Many people think breaking the cycle means treating your children differently, but you don't need to want children to break the cycle. You break the cycle in how you love, how you choose friends, how you speak to yourself, what you tolerate, how you handle conflicts, and what you normalize in your life. Stop excusing abuse just because it's family, and stop calling pain and suffering love. Stop repeating dynamics that hurt you. You truly don't need to explain yourself to anyone, especially if you grew up in a toxic household. Those people who didn't grow up in that situation and you did will not understand it. No matter how hard you try to explain, only you know the truth. And you know what's best for you. People who truly love you and respect you and want the best for you will understand. No words needed. You are allowed to build a life that doesn't make sense to anyone else but you. You are allowed to be free and happy. And yes, you might feel guilty, sad, or lonely sometimes. You might grieve the parents you wish you had, but on the other side of all that is something so worth it. A life that actually feels like yours and no longer living for validation and approval from other people. If this video hit you, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one on your feed about self-worth, emotional healing, discipline, and glowing up from the inside out, please don't forget to like this video so the algorithm knows, and join our little community by subscribing to my channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next video next week as well. I wish you a lovely week until then, and I hope to see you there. Bye!